Hey guys, I'm here with Arnold Boomaye Adams, my man. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, bro?
Hey man, look. You tell us, man. You just had this fight not that long ago. What's come up for you now? Um, when can we expect to see you again? I know it's several questions kind of wrapped up in one, but what have you been up to, man? I know it's been a while just in general, but what have you been up to? I know there was kind of a big break, from the Chase Furman fight to the
Yeah,
Bobo fight.
yeah.
Maybe talk a little bit about that. What was going on with you, and what's coming up next for Boomaye?
Well, after the Chase fight, I took some time off. I guess I threw my shoulder out in the fight.
Okay.
It took maybe like 4 months before I could do a push-up, multiple reps of doing push-ups. It took maybe like 4 months before I could do that. But it was maybe 8 months before I could do punch and combos. Like, throw my right, my uppercut, hooks, all of that. Like my shoulder was bad. And I remember when it happened in the fight, and I kept trying to watch the fight to see if I can get an
Yeah.
idea, but I threw my shoulder out, so I sat for a minute. And I realized a lot of the guys who were the original fighters kind of all had a year off at some point in time.
Yeah.
So I guess my shoulder, and then with the promotion, I guess it kind of just worked out. But then I got the call about Bobo,
Yeah.
and I got happy.
Yeah.
And then I'm reading comments and Bobo this and Bobo that, and I'm like, all right, well, Sam walked through Bobo, and Sam ran from me when we fought. So in my mind, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get to Bobo, and this is gonna be a walk in the park, which it was. I mean, but I had a chip on my shoulder. I had to prove, because everyone doubted me just because of how I performed in the tournament, and then lost the belts to Chase. Everyone kind of looked at me like, maybe he's not who we think he is, or who he says he is. Who he says he is. So I had to show him. You asked about my next fight. I've been hearing some talks about July in Tampa. Got a potential opponent, but of course, until things are finalized.
Sure. Yeah, don't get in trouble. Don't get in
Yeah,
trouble.
no. I won't do any of that. Play with my money. But no, right now the talks are July. Nothing's in ink yet. So until I get more details, or until it's finalized, that's all I can really say, I guess.
It seemed like a almost a perfect fight for you to come back to, right, with Bobo, because you're a little more technical based. Bobo was more the wild brawler, and he wants those wild exchanges, which you typically play that game. You're a lot more calculated than that. It seemed like the perfect matchup for you.
Whoever they put me up against would be the perfect matchup. Is as far as it's going to be a good matchup as far as I'm concerned, because I only do what my opponent allows me to do.
Mm.
So like I don't go in with the game plan, or I'm going to knock him out, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to sit back and wait. No, I just, whatever you give me is what I work with. And throughout my MMA career, and 5 bare knuckle fights I've had, I realized that it works best. When you go in with a mindset, you're going to do this and you're going to do that, and they're going to react this way, so you set yourself up for failure.
Where do you think you stack? Obviously, I know you can't say anything, but how far away are you? I think from this title game, because obviously Shoemaker and Joey fight in a couple weeks.
Right.
Frank Tate kind of shook it up a little bit when he beat Josh Burns.
Mm-hmm.
So and then you're coming off of this. You're coming out. You had an amazing performance against Bobo.
Right.
Like it's kind of there's you, Tate, and it's kind of like the 4 of y'all right now. Like what's
right. I feel like if I win this next fight in dominating fashion, that I should be next in line for the title.
Yeah.
I was the original. I was the first. I lost, came back, got a smoking win. Now if I get 2 wins, now hey, it's real. Let's get the show rolling. Frank Tate, in my opinion, he needs to face Dylan again. He needs to beat Dylan.
Sure.
They got a history. They got MMA. He beat him. I think it was Island Fights he fought for. Dylan beat him in Island Fights. and then they fought the bare knuckle, and
Yep.
Dylan got him again bare knuckle. So I felt like
Yep.
yes, he did take out Josh Burns, but he needs to face Dylan again before he could have a shot at the title, in my opinion.
And plus, Dylan getting that, I think he like pulled a hamstring or something. He was supposed to fight, originally against Josh Burns. So it's kind of a weird. Yeah, he kind of fits in there somewhere too. It's interesting, man. Because obviously, like I said, you're one of the OGs, of heavyweight. You, Joey, Sam, like you guys have been there since the beginning, man. Are
we the only three left from the original heavyweight? I think so. Even not counting the guys who were in the tournament. I'm just like, because there was a lot of heavyweights who fought on the promotion outside of the tournament, but I think we're the only ones that are left.
Yeah, because it's Tony hasn't fought in a minute. Mm-hmm. It's been a minute since he's been in there.
He had his 2 fights and he was done.
I know. Oh man. One of the original guys got, and his name is slipping my brain. I know he's fighting on this the bare knuckle MMA card over in Biloxi, the game
Boss Hog.
No, not Boss Hog. Linderman, DJ Linderman.
Oh, DJ Linderman. Yeah.
I think he's fighting on this fight, man.
That was my first fight bare knuckle.
Yeah, I remember.
And it was different. But it was a walk in the park. I mean, like, I grew up street fighting, and then the majority of my adult life, I've been a bodyguard, or not a bodyguard, a bouncer at clubs, and then just recently got into bodyguarding. But with Linderman was fun. Man, that was fun.
Well, I mean, speaking about it, what do you think about when they announced, Game Bread and the bare knuckle MMA?
I thought it was dope. I figured it was going to happen. I figured that would be the next thing to come. I didn't expect Masvidal to run it or to set it up, but no, that's dope. I actually wouldn't mind competing in that, to be honest. I wouldn't mind competing. See if maybe we can work something out where I can get over there.
Well, I know there's got to be some loose connection because it's they're going to be on the BKTV app, so obviously
I saw that, so I figured maybe there's like a partnership going on right there, or some type of deal or something.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure nobody else will pick it up right now. Like when bare knuckle started, no one really wanted to touch it. Now it's about to be everywhere. It's global now.
It's going to be interesting.
Shout out to David Feldman for pushing. He 10 years. I think he said 10 years. They told him no, and he finally cracked in Wyoming. And once he cracked, it was over with.
Yeah,
floodgates are open. And he gave me a shot. He put me in the history books for bare knuckle boxing. That's dope.
100%, man.
Yeah,
100%. Oh, yeah, always. I mean, all you guys, like I said, like especially like I said, the OGs, the guys who were on the the first few cards, like the Johnny Bedfords, the Reggie Barnetts, and like all you original guys, man. Like you guys are forever, no matter what else you do. That first legal bare knuckle event, like no matter what you do, you're gonna be in the books. No matter what you do from here.
Yep, crazy thing. Me and Sam are just tryout together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Went to Philly and did the tryout together. That's crazy. And we're still here to this day.
What's let me ask you this, man, because I was talking to Joey a couple months ago. We kind of touched on this topic of where do you want to see your end game at with this sport? Because he kind of talked about how he would like to have maybe 5 fights, and he actually you're one of the fights he wants to have back, and I'm sure you know that. Yeah, I'm sure you know that. Like, what do you want to see, man? Like, what's your end game? Obviously, you want to get that strap back, but is there I want to fight for 2, 3, 4, 5 more years. I want to have X amount of title defenses. I want to, what do you think your goal is?
I just like to fight. So I mean, honestly, as long as my body allows me to compete, I want to compete. Whether it be bare knuckle, whether it be the game bread, whether it be boxing, MMA, whatever. I just like to fight. I like to compete. So I don't have a end goal or I want this many fights. No, as long as my body says you can go, you can go. Beltran's what, 43, 44?
Something like that. Yeah.
Right, exactly. He's still ticking, still putting people down.
Looking
And
better than ever, you know?
right, looking better than some of these young athletes who are coming up. So I mean, nah, if I'm allowed to make it that far, I'm gonna keep doing it. I'll fight till I'm 50. I don't care. I'll be a Shannon Briggs or a Bernard Hopkins. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with it. As long as my body is in shape, and I feel like I'll be able to, because I haven't taken too much damage throughout my career, and I've taken a couple years off here and there to let my body recuperate or whatever the case may be. So I think I'll be around for a while.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Well, what do you think about this fight, Beltran and Shoemaker?
I don't know. I've been back and forth on this fight.
Yeah.
I said I could see Shoemaker getting it. Um, and then I was like, I don't know. Shoemaker messed around and shattered his hand on Beltran's head. Because all Shoemaker has is he's a headhunter.
Yeah.
He's a solid headhunter because he has power in those hands and he wants to knock out. Joey's never been knocked out. I don't even think Joey's ever been dropped. I don't think Sam's taking that into consideration, honestly.
It's tough.
I see Joey winning it because he's going to push the pace. And Sam's a big dude. He's going to gas. He's going to throw so much power. He's going to gas. That's what kills you. You throwing constantly throwing power punches drains your energy. It drains your movement. It drains your legs, your focus. You start to lose mental. I give it to Beltran. It's going to be a decision. It could end early, but I'll give it to Beltran. I don't see Shoemaker pulling this one off.
Yeah, here's my and I'm it's this is a tough one, but I guess if you look at I don't want to pick because I have to talk to both of these guys, so I don't want to pick.
Right.
But I will say this, that's Joey's specialty is, dragging people and taking them into the deep water. That's what he does. He kind of allows you to, or wants you to gas yourself out. And like you said, Sam is the headhunter. Sam has got the hell of a right hand. Right. So it's going to be a matter of how aggressive is Sam going to be in the first couple rounds. I think is going to kind of gather where it's going to be at, because I think if Sam plays the game and maybe just tries to, maybe pot shot Joey and maybe drag it out to the third and fourth round, because that's when Joey really starts getting active, is, the end of the second, third round. That's when he really starts to come out. To open up. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see. Phone call. It's going to be interesting to see where that, I don't know. I think it's really going to be based on Sam, to be honest, because I think Joey doesn't change up his style too much. It's usually the same.
We know what he's coming with. Tempo and punches and bunches.
Right. We know what he's coming with. I think it's really going to depend how active and how aggressive is Sam going to be in those first couple rounds. That's going to set the pace for the entire fight.
Well, I see him coming out, pumping his jab. Depending on who was in his camp is going to determine Shoemaker's fight. You see, Beltran's been in Miami a lot, getting some work in at 5th Street. He sparred some well-known boxers and some up-and-coming boxers. I don't know what Shoemaker's been doing. He hasn't been too active social media-wise. But depending on Shoemaker's training camp for this fight is going to depend on how he performs. And then that's really what you base it off of.
What about your other just quick fire out of a cannon, the other 3 title fights? Obviously, Hector Lombard and Joe Riggs. You got Palomino and Good John, and Lombard, then Uli and Alves.
Who? Uli and who?
Thiago Alves.
Uli, Lombard, and without a doubt, Palomino. Yeah, I don't know, because based on Good John's performance when he fought
Felony
felony. Yeah, nope. And I was a fan of Allers, and I didn't really know much about Palomino. And then I saw Palomino just swallow Allers. I was like, oh shit. At that point, I got on YouTube immediately and searched him and started watching a lot of his old fights. And I was like, yo, this dude he's got it.
Yeah.
He's got it. He don't care who you are. He's not he takes no prisoners. Ain't no, let's see what it is. Nah, let's get to it. Let's see if you really can handle this like you say you can.
He's in a I think a great position in his career because Palomino, I think he's peaking. Like he's not the young cat he was, but right. I think he's in a weird spot where he's peaking, but then he also has that veteran status. You know, he's a veteran of combat sports, so he's got the combination of both, which makes him super fucking dangerous.
Right.
It's again, I don't want to pick because damn it, it sucks because I would.
This is what you do.
Yeah,
you can do your picks. You know, you watch other sports; they do it all the time. Even people they like, if they don't feel good about it, they're not gonna pick that person.
I think that if the same Good John, obviously that showed up against Felony, I think it's a no-brainer, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
But based off of what Good John did over in the UK, if that Good John shows up, then maybe it's a different story. Obviously, I guess I just have to take the man at his word. He said, he kind of got caught up in Vegas. He got sick. And this talking about Good John, he got caught up in some of the stuff and he didn't take it as seriously. I have to take it at face value. Now, if he comes out and it's the same performance this time, then obviously we're going to know. We're going to know for sure.
I can see that. I can see that, especially if he's never been over there. I can see that. It's his first time to Vegas and he's supposed to be having his camp, but he looks like a rock star. So I could imagine him getting distracted while he was out there. So we'll see what happens come this fight. But hey man, he's different.
Close the door, please. Go sit down and eat your ice cream.
Like I said, I think Palomino is different. I think it's going to be interesting to see too because I think there's a lot of options on the table if he can get through. And I'm not counting Good John out, but if he can get through Good John. Obviously, there's, I know there's all this weird situation with that he couldn't sign a contract and he's technically not with BKFC, but, there's always that fight on the table. Dat's offered to step up. Palomino, I think, wants to fight him. That could be interesting.
Now that I can see happening, I think what it was something with the belt. So he doesn't have the belt anymore, but if he wants that recognition and that.
Well, according to Dat, he still he thinks he still has the. I just talked to him the other day, and
physically he has him. Yeah,
physically, he thinks his interpretation of what's happening, and again, just based off of what he's saying, his interpretation of what is happening is, he's kind of obviously they're stepping back just a little bit, but it's only because there's no fight for him. So he's kind of stepping back and he's going to look at another opportunity. But to him, he's still the 135-pound champion. And if Bedford and Reggie fight for a title, which is what they're talking about, then that's going to be for an interim.
Right.
Yeah. Not for the real. Again, obviously, this is just.
I could see that. That makes sense. Everything is in wordplay nowadays.
Yeah, it's a weird situation. I think it's too early and maybe a little unfair to just say that we couldn't come to terms. You're fucking gone. Title's
right.
Like, because it's kind of a knee-jerk reaction to sit. Now, if you're ongoing if it's been 3, 4, 5, 6 months and you still can't come to a agreement, okay, maybe we can say, hey, pal, look, we're trying to fucking help each other out here. You don't want to accept these terms. Now I'm going to have to take the title because you're holding up the division.
Right.
That just fought. He just fought Johnny, in February. So it's not like we're talking. It's been stagnant for a year. I don't know. I'm not making excuses for that. That's just my interpretation of what I'm seeing.
I got you. I don't know. And I don't really too much dwell in what people got going on. So I just kind of follow along and keep my ear to it.
That's all we can do, brother.
Right.
That's all. Because and at the end of the day, nobody knows shit except for the man himself. Except
Right.
for
Exactly.
Papa Dave and Nate Shook. Except for nobody knows what the hell's going on. Well, all we can do is just interpret what we see.
Right. And yeah, how we transform it in our heads or whatever the case may be. I got you.
I don't know shit. I don't know the details. I'm just talking out my ass.
I got you. You said Yuli and Tiago.
Yeah.
I'm going with Yuli. I think Tiago's had his run. And the way Yuli came out in his fight, just off the bat, rah.
Yeah. A 3-second knockout, man.
I mean, I was expecting that fight to be pretty good. I'm like, okay, these dudes, all right, let's check this out. As soon as it ding, his head was on the rope and it was over with. All right. I'm gonna give it to Yuli. And he's riding a nice wave right now.
Yep.
But then that fight's gonna be nuts.
It'll
like
be
a battle of Miami.
Well, Tiago, if it goes anything like Tiago and Julian Lane, that was a fucking dogfight. That's
right.
Tiago likes to make it he wants to make it a fucking dogfight. That's his style.
Pit Bull, right? The Pit Bull. That's his thing.
Yeah, that's his thing.
True.
Yuli, I don't know because his 2 fights that he's had in bare knuckle, it's been the quick. He's a knockout artist, and that's his style.
He's explosive.
Can he be drug out? If Tiago wants to drag this thing out and it goes into the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th rounds, I don't know. It's a different story.
Because all that explosion, it runs out.
I don't know if you can put away somebody like Tiago. I don't know.
I know it's going to be a good fight. Where does Tiago train?
He trains at ATT.
That's what I thought. And where does Yuli train?
Oh man, there's a name for it.
But it's in South Florida, right?
It's in South Florida. Fuck. I can't think of the name of the place, but it's got like some catchy name. Palomino trains at the boxer gym, the one in Miami on
5th Street.
Whatever, 5th Street. That's where Palomino trains at.
Okay. Well, this is gonna be nice. This is gonna be a nice card, man.
I mean, on paper, it should be a pretty fucking good turnout because it's all local. It's a lot of local guys.
It's a lot of local teams fighting, and yeah, it'll definitely be a good show, good turnout. It's for sure gonna be action. This may be the best card to date.
I think every card I find myself saying that.
Right. But
I feel kind of. I think people probably think I'm just pumping shit up when I say it,
right.
But I mean, I'm always saying every time we move on and do the next set of interviews for the next card, I'm always like, oh, it's the best card ever. And I find myself saying it every fucking time, but it's no bullshit. I mean, I really think
they get better and better.
They get better and better.
They get better and better. And more people are trying to come over here. So, hey, come on, let's go. Grow the family.
So are you one of the people that kind of, when you hear about the Paige Van Zants and the Rachel Osevitzes and you hear these bigger names cross over, are you more on the side of, man, these guys are trying to come over and take our spotlight, or are you on the side of, fuck it, bring it, more eyeballs on the whole team?
Yeah, right, bring it, because they bring that's more fans. They got a strong following. They've been around, they had the UFC exposure, whatever else they got going on. Bring them. That gives me more fans. That's all I love at the end of the day. It's just helping out the business. That's how I look at it. I realize this is a business.
Yeah.
It just helps out the business. That's all.
100%, brother.
100%. Bring them.
Look, anybody you want to shout out real quick, man, or where can people follow you, stuff like that?
Social media. Instagram is Cali CALI _Boomaye. Twitter is the same handle. I have a Facebook. It's Arnold Boomaye Adams. I believe that's what it is. I don't know. Y'all can find me. Just search Arnold Adams. Um, Other than that, that's really it. I've been kind of, I don't know. Shout out to Dave Feldman. Shout out to Nate Shutt for the matchup. The GOAT Combat Agency. That's who I'm signed with. Shout out to them. Shout out to everybody that's on the team. Who else? I don't know. I'm having a meltdown right now.
You're good, brother. I have a meltdown about every 10 minutes, so we're good.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna just stop talking now.
Hey, no, it's all good, dude. It's all good. Well, look, man. Like I said, I don't want to keep you too much longer, brother. But man, I always enjoy having you come on, man. I always like talking to you, man. And like I said, you're one of the OGs of the sport. And like I said, no matter what else happens, you're in the fucking history books, man. So I look forward to hearing about who you're going to fight next, and I want to get you back on, and we'll talk about it more. When definitely. You can reveal who you're fighting against, so we could talk about it. So
definitely,
I appreciate your time, brother.
All right, thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Hey, everybody, we're here with Chad the Butcher Kelly. What's up, my man?
What's up, guys?
Hey, we're doing all right, brother. So I obviously, you're with GOAT. You're kind of one of the new prospects with GOAT. You were at the Alabama tryouts, right?
Yep.
All right, do me a favor. Talk about that experience. Maybe talk about the interest in bare knuckle at all, because you're kind of coming over from the MMA side of things. Talk about that journey into being interested in bare knuckle in the first place, and how you ended up at the Alabama tryouts.
So I only really got into MMA in the beginning because I was just constantly getting into fights, like not even fights I was starting, just people targeting me out. And like it got one day where I got in this fight, somebody like got some road rage with me, right? And I just remember that feeling afterwards, and I loved it. And I didn't want to let it go, so I went straight to the local MMA gym, talked to the coach there, and he let me sparring at night. I got my ass beat bad. Dude was hitting me, going down to a knee. I got up, just kept hitting me. It was fun. I went home and I was just like, that was it. That's what I want to do. And so I started out as a stand-up guy. I had no wrestling. I'm pretty good at jiu-jitsu, but my fights, first two, I think, were TKOs in the first round. So I've always had a real heavy right hand. And after that, everybody caught on, so they started wrestling me and trying to stay on top. And it slowly evolved into grinding in the ground and pound. As soon as I crack somebody, they don't want to be there. And I've always loved the stand-up end better. Just how it is. And now I'm going to punch you, and you're going to have nowhere to go. You can't just wrap somebody up and press them on the cage and hope you recover,
Right. So. What about the taking the gloves off aspect? Is that really anything a shocking change to you, or is it just kind of?
Not at all. I mean, I get something put in front of me and I adapt to it. Like that bike ride. I've done zero training for something like that. I just decided. First, it started out as a thought in my head, like, hey, I could ride to my hometown. And then I started talking about it, and all it took was somebody being like, oh, that's not happening. Like, well, tomorrow it's happening, So, same with this. I've been training, doing all the conditioning I need to. Like, I have no worries about my hands at all. I've never had trouble with them throughout my whole career.
And why? I guess why BKFC specifically? What led you to the tryouts in Alabama?
It was just one of those. Started as a thought. I was talking to my buddy, who's one of my training partners, and he sent me the link to it, and I just kind of laughed it off, like, yeah, that's too far away. And then he messaged me back, and he's like, look, I'll go with you. And, dude, let's go. This is awesome. Yeah, I would love a chance to get in there, And it was good. I enjoyed the tryout. It was definitely worth it. I definitely feel like I was the best there. Just looking around and seeing everybody that showed up.
What about the because with BKFC the biggest thing that I always just watching as a fan perspective, I still enjoy MMA. I enjoy glove boxing, but with bare knuckle, man, it's different, right? Because and the biggest thing I always tell people, if I want to try to explain to somebody, what bare knuckle really is about and what's the difference, in MMA. Obviously, other than the obvious, it's obviously bare knuckle, but the pace, the rounds, the 2-minute rounds, it's not like the 2-minute rounds. You don't have 5 minutes to feel each other out and maybe kind of work around and get your range in check, and you don't have that time. You've got 2 fucking minutes, and that 2 minutes goes by like that, and you start off, the scratch line. You start off already in that range right there. So, man, like, what out of all that, what is the biggest thing I guess you're taking away from that? You adapting your training style from MMA to bare knuckle.
Yeah, that's the funny part is, like, you watch like boxing. You'll sit there and have the commentators being like, "Oh, they're feeling each other out," where really they're just dancing around for 6 rounds, barely doing much.
Right.
And that's never been the way I fight. I've always been that person up in your face, suffocating you, constantly pushing. Like, you're gonna have to work to get away. That was always how I train and how I fight. And now that I'm training for this, my sparring partner hated that dirty boxing clinch, and I'm constantly there grabbing you. If you want to get close, it's been miserable. So
yeah,
that's what it should be. I try to bring that pace, just the constant 2 minutes every round.
100%, man. Well, and that's what sets it apart. I think a lot of a lot of MMA guys and a lot of the traditional boxing guys, it's really, I think that's the biggest jarring factor. It's not even so much the bare knuckle itself. It's that fucking pace. The pace is I've seen people, they jump in and they're gassed out by the end of the first round because it's just different. Because automatically, like you said, a guy like you up in their face, they're either having to back up or they're having to deal with it. And it's fucking different. It really is. Right.
And I've won fights like it. Somebody who's clearly better than me at something, but I just ground them so hard that they were ready to quit. This pro fight I had in Columbus, it always laughs to go back and watch it because I'm on top of this dude, elbowing him after he tries to take me down. I'm just throwing all kinds of elbows, mashing him up, and he keeps throwing his arm up, trying to get me to armbar him. I just throw it out of the way and didn't want anything to do with it. I wanted him to quit,
Is this something like, are you still going to try to do, I guess, is this something you're going to commit yourself to, like bare knuckle, like for the time being? Is MMA maybe something you want to go back to? Or do you think, wow, I think I might have found my home doing this?
I love all fighting. I really do. Always have. I went, before I moved up to Cleveland, fixed my record, I was 0-2 as a pro. And I took a kickboxing match, 3 weeks notice against the top kickboxer in Ohio, and just smashed him. And it was just because I wanted to, I just wanted to fight. I would love to stay with the BKFC, but I'm not going to turn away anything that's open,
Are you going to fight at, because according to, you fought at 185, right, for MMA?
Yeah, that's where I want to stay.
Okay.
My first 2 pro MMA fights, I cut way too much weight. It was a mistake. Somebody probably should take me to the hospital because I'm just, like I said, I set my mind to something, I'm doing it. The first one, I cut 33 pounds 1 week. The second one, it was right around 28. So I'm trying to, I stay where I'm comfortable now, and 85 is perfect. I'm not above going up in weight. There's no going.
And when? How much can you say? I know you probably can't say, but so much. But you're probably going to fight this summer, right? Either what the August card, or I know you probably can't say specifics yet, but
What the rumors are, yeah.
okay.
I'm getting
Okay.
ready for a fight this summer. I'm ready no matter what's thrown at me. So, I'm far enough out where they can do anything, but at the same time, I'm in the shape to fight this weekend.
Yeah. I'm excited, man. I'm always excited, especially to see, new faces in the sport, because the cool part is it's still, because the sport is still pretty young, and the divisions are still small enough to where, somebody like yourself could fucking come in, start your first couple guys, and just you're automatically you got a spotlight on you. It doesn't take, you don't need 10-0, 15-0, 20-0 to really get a name for yourself. Like everything, the pools are still pretty shallow at this point. So like someone like yourself could fucking come in, wreck house, and
That's my exact thought. I just need to get there once, and they're not going to let me. You're going to see it and be like, oh shit! All right, we're keeping this guy.
Yeah, 100%, man. Well, I mean, tell people, people who might not know who you are, and obviously, crossing over into bare knuckle. What can people expect? I know you already kind of said you're kind of like an in your face kind of thing, but what can people expect when you do fight?
Fight of the night. It's just as long as my opponent's game, I'm game. I mean, heaven forbid I get one of those dudes who gets hit and decides he doesn't want anything to do with it. See that a lot. See dudes talk big talk, and as soon as they take a punch to the teeth, they're like, I'm not getting it. And it's not me.
Are you the trash talker kind of guy, or you kind of stay away from
Not
that?
really. I mean, it's just another thing I'm not above, but I hate seeing people talk their way into positions that they can't fight their way to. You know what I mean? You see these people who talk like people who aren't even signed yet. You'll see on Instagram they're posting about fighting Lorenzo Hunt. Get out of here, dude. Like, go get one fight and then do something.
Right. Well, what do you think, man, about I've been asking all the people today about obviously there's a big card coming up, BKFC 18. What do you think? I guess particularly the big four title fights that are coming up. Like, do you have any opinion on the Sam Shoemaker, Joey Beltran, Uli and Thiago Alves, Palomino and Good John, Joe Riggs, Hector Lombard? And is any one of those fights really intrigue you more than the other? Do you have any picks one way or the other on those?
Honestly, the only one I'm really interested in is the heavies. And it's just because who doesn't love seeing two big dudes swing for the fences? It's the best. As far as a prediction on that, I'm not good at that. I pick a guy, he's going to be the guy who loses every time. So I always shut up.
Sure,
Quit picking my friends doing it and everything. So
fair enough, man. Fair enough. Where can people reach you at, man? Like on social media? Because, like I said, you're with Goat Combat. Maybe if you want to give any shout outs, things like that. Where can people reach out on social media?
I was kind of inactive for a while through that whole lockdown thing. I was just more concerned staying in shape and keeping my head above water.
Yeah.
I mostly started using Instagram again. It's what I post on, what I talk to people on. You can follow me. It's at Real Chad Kelly. That's pretty much the one I use right now.
Okay. Cool. Any like shout outs or anything to anybody?
Dude, just big shout out to my fight team. And we've been putting in rounds for the past 2 months, preparing for fights, because right now everything's up in the air. It's last minute. So I've been in the longest fight camp I've been in my whole career, and I'm healthy and not hurt, so it's been great.
Well, brother, when you find out, or when you can talk about who you're fighting, please come back on, because I know it's kind of tough talking about a fight that you can't actually talk about yet. So I know it's kind of it's kind of weird to talk about it, but as soon as you get the info, man, we'll talk to Scott and Vince, and we'll get you back on so we can talk about it specifically once it starts coming up, brother. But Look, man, I appreciate your time. I don't want to hold you up too much, man. And like I said, it was awesome meeting you, and I cannot fucking wait. I love, seeing new faces get in there.
Oh yeah, man. I hope I satisfy. So
100%, brother. We appreciate you, man. And like I said, we'll definitely be in touch, and we'll talk to you again.
all right, thank you, man.